And now, a special message from Flying Over Trout.
Mom, it is great working with you here at Flying Over Trout on YouTube, and I just want to let you know how important your input is to me. If you ever have any suggestions, please let me know.
Okay, well, you know what? I do have a suggestion.
No! No! I'm going to forward your suggestion to my lawyer, and they're going to send you a letter saying, do not send me any more suggestions. If you send me any more, we will not consider them or analyze them.
Oh, wow. Where did that come from?
That's what happened at AT&T the other day with Randall Stephenson, their CEO. Did you know that a man who claimed to be a very loyal customer and a lifelong customer, he had like 4 different services from AT&T, cell phone, TV, internet, and whatever a 4th one is, I think. He was able to find Randall Stephenson's email address, the CEO of AT&T, and he had some simple suggestions. He said maybe you should offer a different text messaging option at this price instead of paying so much for unlimited messages. Yeah. He said something like your customer for life. You know, it was a polite message. Randall sent the email to his lawyers who responded to the customer and said we do not accept any input. Or Randall sent the message to his lawyers, and his lawyers responded to the customer saying we do not consider any third-party ideas, support, input, whatever, we will not analyze them. And the journalist, one of the journalists who was writing about this, because this was in the news, said this sounded like a mistake on AT&T's part. Maybe they didn't mean to do that. So he reached out to them, and they said, yes, we actually don't consider any ideas that customers send us because in the past, when they've suggested them to us, we've been sued. And so guess who stepped in when that happened?
John Legere?
That's right, John Legere, the CEO of T-Mobile. He saw that AT&T doesn't want to take their customers' suggestions into account. So what he did is he offered to take suggestions for AT&T himself. You can tweet John Legere on Twitter with the hashtag IdeasforRandall. You can email IdeasforRandall@tmobile.com. Or, because John Legere doesn't really worry about, is someone going to email me? Well, what's going to happen? The roof's going to fall on my head if a customer messages me. John Legere makes his company email address available to everyone, johnlegere@tmobile.com. And what you can do, suggest ideas for AT&T. John Legere is going to send them to Randall, to AT&T, and to their lawyers, but he's going to keep the best ideas for T-Mobile and only send to AT&T the ideas which T-Mobile has already fixed.
Well, wait a minute. This guy Randall, where he's learned from?
I mean,
if
apparently
he doesn't learn
Mars.
from his customers, where he's gonna get the ideas? And the cereal box?
That's a good question, yeah. Actually,
this.
I have some suggestions. Randall, I think he, you know, some people, they're more suited to jobs where you have to rigidly enforce structure, especially on people who have to be there. So I have some suggestions. Randall, please take note of these. Okay, Randall, so here's some ideas for jobs or companies you could run where you have to rigidly enforce structure and you can't really take into account customer suggestions because they have to be there. So if it was up to them, they wouldn't even go in the first place. Tow truck company, car impound lot, divorce court, probation officer, bail bondsman. Again, for people who have to be there.
Bellboy.
Bellboy, okay.
Valet.
Valet, that's true. Yeah, yes sir, no sir, I'm sorry sir, yeah. Corrections officer, executive chef at Guantanamo Bay, or just join the Taliban.
I just say this, Randall, overall, I'm not making fun of you, just quit.
Yeah, it's nothing against you, Randall. It's just that maybe you shouldn't be in the people business. You know, a CEO of a company has to serve customers. They have to be dynamic and respond to their needs. And, you know, I mean, what kind of business sense is this where you shoot yourself in the foot, the whole press makes fun of you, John Legere steps in to take your customers. I mean, that's what you're doing. AT&T's customers got to be worried. Like, what's their CEO doing? Just trying to drive more customers to T-Mobile with these crazy stunts?
I wouldn't go with AT&T. I would never.
You never know what they're going to do. One day after another, they're going to change their terms.
Everybody, I tell you this. I said over and over and over and sound like broken record. Just join T-Mobile. Trust me, join T-Mobile. You have everything from reception to payments to whatever, ever.
Not only that, this is not the first time AT&T has done a stunt like this. In 2010, their lawyers sent a cease and desist letter to a customer who emailed their CEO, I don't know if it was Randall at the time, complaining that they weren't giving enough info about the new iPhone that was coming out. And of course, when their lawyers did that, they didn't expect for the press to pick that up again and embarrass them. And then they apologized to the customer, and the vice president called him. I guess they're like troublemakers. They want their parents' and teachers' attention by kicking something over or breaking a vase, and then they get attention for it. I guess they like that. But you got to wonder, why do they even want these customers they're worried are going to sue them? I mean, John Legere, somehow he's able to cope with that stress.
Right.
And actually, somebody left a comment on one of the articles, I'll put a screen cap right here, saying that basically maybe Randall was suspicious when somebody sent him an email claiming that they had a good experience with AT&T. Because how often do you hear that? He thinks it's like some kind of, there's a virus attached to the email, it's like a Trojan horse.
Excuse my cough.
So again, tweet your ideas for Randall to John Legere with the hashtag IdeasforRandall. Email them to ideasforrandall@tmobile.com, or email John Legere himself at johnlegere@tmobile.com. And so John Legere, he's so generous, he'll send the ideas directly to Randall's lawyers. But again, He's going to keep the best ideas for T-Mobile, and he's going to send to AT&T all the ideas that T-Mobile has already implemented and problems they've already fixed.
There you go.
So, Randall, when you're in business, maybe learn from the best. Don't learn from, I don't know where you got these ideas on customer service, is that you send lawyers after them for emails. I wonder how he's dealing with it now, because probably everybody's emailing now. Actually, here's what you should do. You should email Randall, email address right here. He takes one of those randomized email addresses so nobody can guess what it is. It's just a bunch of letters and numbers, not like John Legere. He's got less to hide though. Email Randall with your ideas, but since he's not going to use them, only email bad ideas. So like email him suggesting to raise prices on their contracts or extend their contracts for like 3 years or 5 years. That way he won't do it, right? Because he's not going to listen to any ideas from anybody. He's very sure he's got things right. Which I don't know, that's kind of weird for me, because to me it's like there's some things worse than losing a job, an important job like that, and being poor. And that's taking people's money for a bad service and not being responsive to their needs. That's worse to me than being poor and being miserable. I mean, at least, I wouldn't want to live like that.
I don't understand how he gonna learn unless you get your customers' ideas. How the heck he gonna suggest anything or, do something good for his clients,
Maybe you should work for a CIA black site, where you have to...
I don't know what that is, but anyway.
Well, okay. On behalf of everyone at on behalf of everyone at the T-Mobile family and here at Flying Over Trout, we want to thank you, Randall, for making the uncarrier's job more easy.
Well, John Legere, congratulations.
That's just fresh meat he served up to John Legere. He just offered it to him. It's like the butcher is hanging the meat out the window, and Legere's there with his dogs, and they just eat it up right there. Good going, Randall.
Okay. That's it?
I'm gonna make sure all my notes I have everything I wanted to say.